And give me 1 second here, and we'll be good to go. All right. Now we're all set. Okay. So we're going to be bringing you the best in pro wrestling right now on the Mark Hoke Show. 2 hours of all sorts of fun and excitement as we get ready to go into the Royal Rumble week. And we had a wild week, to say the least, in pro wrestling, with some happenings in TNA and GCW, and they kind of linked up. Some news for Las Vegas and so much more. Pretty busy week coming up here. And I want to make sure we got our good friend in here. Hopefully everything's going to be good on his end. Stu Myrick. I hear you, Stu.
What's up?
Okay, you're all good?
I'm all good.
Okay.
They're there for a moment.
Yeah. Well, it happened. It's all right. But Stu Myrick, guys, talking wrestling in Austin, Texas. Join me. We're going to have Matt Black on with his unique opinions and slight bitterness coming up from WrestleZone.com, lead editor over there. He'll be on the second hour. So we're going to have a blast with you today. Stu, I wanted to start off in the land of TNA. That's right. Of course, TNA Genesis took place this week.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, we all believed. I wrote it on the board out there. It's there. It says, I believe in Joe Hendry. And we have a new TNA World Champion as Joe Hendry knocks off Nick Nemeth and is the new TNA World Champ. Stu, about time, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know if it's about time. It feels like maybe this was the right moment. I think, there's probably those that could say this could have happened 6 months ago, but it worked out. By the way, TNA making the swing through the Lone Star State. First of all, Curtis Colwell Center looked fantastic for Genesis up in Garland, up in the Metroplex. They did a great job. And then the scene in San Antonio at the Boeing Center at Techport, again, they did a fantastic job. TNA was really heavy on getting, on media stuff. I did an interview with the Hardys a couple weeks ago, and you saw images of both Nick Nemeth and Joe Hendry and the Hardys and Masha Slamovich and several of the other TNA stars hitting all the different media outlets, both in Dallas-Fort Worth as well as San Antonio and even here in Austin. But yeah, congratulations, Joe Hendry. It's something that felt like it needed to happen. Let's see now what they do as far as what his title reign will look like. We already saw it on Thursday night, his first title defense against Matt Cardona. And so I'm looking forward to see what Joe Hendry does, and not just that, but with this formal partnership with WWE, could we see him come in the Royal Rumble next Saturday?
Yeah, the rumor mill is going crazy on that Joe could be making an appearance at the Royal Rumble. Boy, that'd be something to see the TNA World Champion at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
but
we've already seen the Knockouts World Champion, so why not?
I agree. I love it. Oh my God, place will go crazy. But I think you bring up a good point, Joe. That Joe had this run where he managed to be the social media darling, got his entrance theme pushed to number 1 in so many countries, and I think he got to number 6 here, if I remember right. But now that he's there, now we got to see what's going to happen from this point on. As the ball's his, can he carry it? And I think he can. I think he's very good in the ring and does unbelievable promos and gets people into it, and people love the guy to death. So I think he'll be all right. But yeah, they've got, you've got to make sure that when you have your star there, you got to keep him on the right track. So it will be interesting to see how it goes from here on out.
Yeah. I mean, look, Joe is well-versed. He can give great interviews. He can do great promos. So TNA's just got to push him in the right way, have meaningful title defenses. And I think they can. I think they really can. Let's see how long this title reign goes. I mean, I have a feeling I think we'll see it at least through the summer. It would surprise me a little bit if it goes all the way to Bound for Glory in October. But I think they could make some good money off of Joe Hendry as their world champion.
Yeah, they've got some terrific people to go against them too. So should be a lot of fun there,
including Mance Warner.
Yeah,
who thought of the Southern Psychopath showing up in TNA?
Yeah, I'm going to get to that in a little bit, but there were some other interesting things that happened at Genesis, and I almost feel like this was a fitting name for some of the things that took place there too, because we saw Josh Alexander lose that I Quit match to Mike Santana, and Josh is looking like he's going to be out of TNA very shortly. Curious to see where his future takes him. But we also had Tessa Blanchard knocking off Jordan Grace, and Jordan is pretty much done with TNA too. I'm sure she's WWE bound, and we'll be seeing her at the Royal Rumble. But there's a changing of the guard there in TNA now, and some you have a couple of stalwarts right there that are out the door, and it's a new start for them. I think it really is.
You're absolutely right. First, Josh Alexander, I think so highly of him.
Oh, he's incredible.
I've had him on the show a few times. I've met him in person, several times. He is such a good dude, and he is so well versed in that ring. So I'm excited to see what he does. I think the rumor mill is pretty preset that he's going to head to WWE. Jordan Grace, again, she's shown her talents. We've seen her in the Royal Rumble before. Would not shock me to see her again in Indianapolis. Interesting. I'm still on a wait and see on Tessa Blanchard.
Mm-hmm.
Not because she is uber talented in the ring. I've seen it up close. She wrestled Circus quite a few times here in Austin. Of course, the daughter of Tully Blanchard, but she was getting the chance. She was getting the she's a racist chance in Garland and in San Antonio. So if there is a like concern for TNA, it's gonna be how they frame Tessa Blanchard, because it can go either fantastic, or it can be a outright disaster.
Right.
So, and we'll see.
Yeah, and you think about what happened to Hulk Hogan a few weeks ago, and and what happened at these two events with TNA with Tessa. I think Tessa's in a little bit different spot, but the question I think TNA has got to answer is, how do we solve this problem? And obviously, a lot of it's going to fall on Tessa. She's going to have to get out and do something to get in front of this, because you can't have those chants at your shows. You just can't. You've got to figure out, and I don't know if they'll ever necessarily go away. There's always going to, no matter what she does, there's still going to be people that are going to not forgive her for whatever happened in that locker room. But is it salvageable? Can she be forgiven for whatever took place in there? None of us were in that room, so we've heard different accounts. But can she be brought back and get rid of this stigma?
That's a good question, and I don't know. It's the gimmick she has now of just a badass that is going to tear through. I'm not sure that's doing her any favors. I'm not saying turn her babyface, because I think that would be even worse. I mean, I say it'd be worse. There is a way to do it. I am not I couldn't tell how. I think there is a way to do it, but again, they've got to be careful. Look, I was at the pay-per-view when Tessa won the world title, when all of this came out. I was, I was actually having lunch in Dallas when I started seeing all the tweets and stuff. And I was there at, I think it was the factory in Dallas. And you could hear you could hear boos when she won the world title from Sami Callihan. You could hear the boos. You could hear the negative, reaction. And going off to Mexico for 5 years didn't help things. And
how she handled the whole contract situation too.
It
was just everything at once, and she just made some big errors.
Absolutely. So coming back now, they've got to tread carefully. I am not an expert, so I can't tell you how they do that. But they've got to figure out a way, if they are going to, rely on Tessa Blanchard to be that name in the knockouts division, they've got to tread carefully. They got to figure out a way, or it's like I say, or it's going to blow up in their faces.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to put her out on a tour, a PR tour, and try and fix this up, and hopefully she comes up with the right things to say and can get this behind her. But man, it's tough. And one thing that does bother me though is that we know that so many wrestlers have done so many things wrong in the past, and Tessa screwed up. I mean, she got in an argument and lost her mind, and she's paying for it certainly. But there's got to be a point where you forgive somebody. There really is.
If there is a little part of me that says, if so there was the allegedly she had sent out on social media that she and La Rosa Negra had squashed their beef. And La Rosa Negra is a fantastic wrestler and a fantastic young lady. We've seen her a lot here in the Central Texas area with Thunder Rosa's promotion, Mission Pro Wrestling. If TNA could find a way to have them show, on TNA television.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe have the two of them together. Maybe that's a way. It's not unlike them to book independent talent. Have them do something, something. And it doesn't even have to be like a flat out, hey, everything's good. It could be in a storyline of some sort, but have them show up together on camera.
And I think the one thing, and Bionic Scoop's in there. And by the way, Scoop, what's up? Bionic Scoop in the chat box. Interesting comment there that says forgiving is one thing when they take accountability publicly. Same issue I have with Hogan. And I think that that would be a terrific thing to do, to get the two of them out there.
Yeah.
Just have Tessa apologize. And maybe they squash their beef, but take it a step further and go on television, humble yourself a little bit, and say, you know what, I screwed up. I'm sorry. Yeah. Don't get too crazy with the statement or anything like that, because the more you talk, the more you're going to have issues, like apparently Hogan did when he addressed the locker room a few years ago, and it didn't go well. So we'll see what Tessa does. She's an incredible talent, and I hate to see this going on, but the TNA does have an issue there for sure that they're going to have to straighten out. So we'll see how that turns out, but we'll keep an eye on it for you. And we're going to keep rolling here with some more TNA stuff. And there's a little TNA crossover issue at GCW versus the People card that we got to get into, and how TNA fixed it. Crazy stuff. You're not going to believe what you're going to hear. Stick around, everybody. We got a whole lot more on the Mark Hoke Show. I've got Stu Myrick with me, and we will be right back.
Looking for high-quality custom screen printing in Las Vegas? Look no further than Off-Grid Creations. Need a few custom t-shirts for a local event, band merchandise, or family reunion? We've got you covered. Large order of uniforms for your staff, sports team, or club? We can handle that too. Our experienced team will work closely with you throughout the entire process from design consultation to final product. Call us at 661-300-1115. That's 661-300-1115. Or visit our website at off-gridcreations.com. Get a free consultation today.
Old Spice Swagger Body Wash will make you the MVP of freshness and confidence. With its irresistible scent, it will transform your shower experience, leaving you feeling fresh on and off the field. Pair it with Old Spice Swagger Deodorant, the #1 aluminum-free brand that keeps you feeling like a Super Bowl champion 24/7 when used daily. But don't wait. This dynamic duo is available at Costco for a limited time only. Old Spice, official deodorant partner of the NFL and Super Bowl 59, where freshness meets football greatness.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8 year old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensate for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. When you apply to University of Maryland Global Campus by February 12th, you'll pay no application fee. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. Get your application fee waived through February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Local news can come at you fast. Want the latest on what's happening in your backyard? Download the free Odyssey app. Follow your local news station, and you'll get alerts on the top stories making headlines in your city. You can stay in the know, no matter what you're up to, and be among the first to find out when news breaks. Plus, keep tabs on weather and traffic, so you're never caught off guard. To get started, download the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY, and follow your local news station.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, let's keep this ship going down the river. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM. Talk of Las Vegas. Also streaming live on the Odyssey app. AUDACY. Get that app right now. And Santa Claus is going to bring you extra presents, I promise. So make sure you do that. And you get to hear all of the great shows on KDAWN and from around the world. What? Huh?
We're a month past Christmas.
Well, you got to think ahead, man.
Santa's resting.
Yeah, well.
The elves are at work, but Santa's resting.
Get your name at the top of the list right now. Don't you, know, if you're
11
good,
months from now.
Yeah. It'll help. Trust me.
Sure.
Trust me. That's what they say anyway. So I was told to tell you. But get that Odyssey app right now. And Stu's show's on there too. Short Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
Absolutely.
So you can check that out. And if you haven't gotten to us on YouTube or Facebook or X, we are live streaming right now. So if you want to hop in and be in the chat box and tell us your thoughts on everything going on, am I wrong? Am Stu right? Are we both crazy? Let us know. It's all good. We want to hear it. So,
by the way, speaking of sports guys, this will be the one day that Dallas Cowboys fans do not watch the competition because you have the two hated rivals going after the NFC title with Commanders and Eagles.
Do you hate the Commanders or the Giants more as a Dallas Cowboys fan? Because as Eagles fan, you're mortal enemies.
No, Commanders.
Okay, hate the Commanders more. All right.
Yeah, it's so I'll liken it to University of Texas, the Longhorns, there are 3 rivalries. If you look at it, you've got OU, of course. Can't stand OU. Root for every team that plays OU. You've got Texas A&M and then Arkansas. If I were to rank those 3, it's OU first, A&M second. They're like the little brother, and Arkansas just because, So when it comes to the Cowboys, I would say it's the Eagles first, Commanders second, Giants third. I mean,
Fair enough.
When you come to the NFC East.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'll be hopefully enjoying the Super Bowl with my Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm sure you will. I've got a picture of me with Jeffrey Lurie.
Oh,
the owner of
nice.
the Eagles. This was Super Bowl 52 in Minneapolis. We were doing media day, and a friend of mine got a shot of me trying to capture what Mr. Lurie was saying. Of course, the Eagles were in the Super Bowl that year. Former Longhorn Jordan Hicks was a part of that team.
Yes, he was.
He was, and I love Jordan to death. He's fantastic. Of course, he is a lifetime Longhorn. So,
yeah. So,
all right, enough football.
Should be a
talk.
great day. That's all good. Well, we also had the GCW card, the GCW versus the People, and we do have a new world champion there as Effie.
Love
it. And great guy. I got to see him wrestle Jay Vidal, by the way, and boy, did those two play it up. Oh my God, that was a fun match.
We've had Effie a number of times here in Austin for Inspire After Death, or now Inspire Victorious. Love Effie. Every time he comes, it's always a huge crowd, and it's always wonderful. Not to mention Austin. We have a sizable LGBTQ community, and so he plays that up big time, and I love Effie to death, and I'm so happy that he is now the GCW world champion.
Yeah, it was kind of a shame how it got there, though, with Allie Katch breaking her leg in 2 places in there, and I know there's a GoFundMe set up for her, but they had that number 1 contenders match, and then Effie went on to beat Mance Warner for the GCW title. So that was pretty interesting. And, with Effie on top of the GCW world, Lord knows what's going to happen there. It's going to be a big gay brunch all over the place. So brace yourselves.
And our thoughts go with Allie. Allie trained here in Austin, trained under the legendary George De La Isla. I knew Allie when, her very early, when she was still Allie Cat, long before the whole Allie Catch thing. And I saw the spot where she broke her leg, and just awful.
Yeah.
And so, all the good thoughts with her. She, hopefully making a full and speedy recovery.
Yeah. Wish her all the best. But there was something else very interesting that happened on this show. PCO came out with the TNA Digital Media Championship and ripped TNA and smashed it to shreds. And this was not a work.
Nope.
Because his contract ran out. They couldn't get the deal done, and PCO was not happy about it. So your thoughts on that, though, Stu? Is that the right thing to do?
On the surface, no. You never want to burn bridges. It's kind of like coach. It's kind of like football coaching. You never want to. You'll never hear. You'll almost never hear one coach, blasting another. It's the same thing in wrestling. You don't want to burn bridges because you may be working there someday. Now, PCO, he's older than me. I think he's 57, 58, something like that.
Let's see.
And I get frustrations with contracts and all that good stuff. But to go out there, you have this title belt that you take a sledgehammer to, which, and according to TNA, it was a replica. They still have the original title belt. And we saw Steph DeLander carrying it. But smash up the title belt and then start ripping TNA. An interesting choice. Now, again, he's older. So who knows if he's going to continue. I would say he's probably going to continue at least on the independent circuit. But that, it kind of shuts down any chance of possibly working with TNA again. And I mean, you never say never in wrestling, but that didn't help things at all.
And there's another issue underlying to that too, is that GCW let him do it. And I'm not sure the TNA is probably going to be too happy with GCW. Now, maybe they talked it over beforehand. I don't know, but that's, you don't want people doing that kind of stuff. You just don't. So I don't know. It was an interesting way to handle it.
Now, well, and so if you believe the reports that were out there from Five Floor Wrestling Observer, or whoever, there was no knowledge of this prior. On the broadcast, when PCO started off like that, they're trying to grab the mic, and then I think maybe 15 seconds into his tirade, they cut to a break or something. So I don't know if it's a matter of GCW let him do it. I think it may be a more of, we don't want this on the telecast. Let's let him get it out in front of the live crowd. Probably the easiest way to squash the situation. So I'm not too worried about it as far as whatever relationship between TNA and GCW. And it kind of put a black mark on a great night there in the Hammerstein Ballroom. GCW putting out a great show, Effie winning the world title. But yeah, it's I'll be interested to see what the relationship, if we see more TNA stars showing up on GCW cards.
Yes, because as we've seen with Tony Khan, there can be some spiteful attitudes out there. So we'll find out. But the 57-year-old PCO, no longer with TNA. By the way, Mustafa Ali, I got to make sure I say that right. Mustafa Ali just re-signed with TNA, so he's back in the mix. So that should be a lot of fun for TNA. And then, well, this digital media title, they put it on Steph DeLander, who was married to PCO and walked her out and said, "I got the belt in the divorce." What a, it's total BS, right? Total BS. But man, if you're gonna try and fix the situation, that's not a bad way to do it. That made me laugh.
It's a funny storyline, and like I said, and it's, not so she walks out. Not only is she, did she get the digital media title in the divorce, she introduces her new beau, the former GCW world champion, Mance Warner. I mean, look, I love watching Mance. He's a throwback, and it always, he entertains me. I'll be interested in watching what he does in TNA. I'll be interested to see, how long of a deal he's got with them. Is this just a per event, or is he signed with them for a bit? It could make things fun. I'm sure we will eventually see Mance Warner challenge Joe Hendry for that world title. But in the meantime, yeah, this whole Steph DeLander and Mance Warner thing, this could be entertaining.
I would agree. I mean, they're both terrific performers, so that should be a road to travel, to say the least. Looking forward to that one. So, any other thoughts on TNA or GCW from the weekend from you, by the way, that we didn't mention?
Again, I think both companies put up great cards. We are in a great spot as pro wrestling fans, because it seems like everybody's rolling. Of course, WWE is hot as can be. AEW is starting to find their way again. TNA has been putting on good cards for for quite a few years. Same thing with Game Changer Wrestling. It's starting to become a little bit of an embarrassment of riches when it comes to wrestling, at least here in the United States. And I say that, I qualify that because there is still a lot of question marks for New Japan Pro Wrestling with they've got talent that may be leaving. What does Tanahashi do as how does he steer the ship as president? I want to see New Japan do well. I want to see New Japan do well in the United States. How that happens, I am not an expert on Japanese wrestling. Could Pro Wrestling Noah somehow find a way to take over the #1 spot in Japan? They've been making waves with this working agreement with WWE. Could there be more eyes on Pro Wrestling Noah?
Yeah, and that relationship is going to pay off because they got Omos squared up over there.
Yep.
And, he just gave up part of the tag team championships this week, and he's coming back, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him at the Rumble. But it does bring up an interesting point, Stu, with one thing that I do also at our stations is that I do a little 2-minute pro wrestling report. And if you'd have told me 2 years ago that if I was summarizing the biggest stuff of the week, that I was going to be mostly talking and I only have 2 minutes to do this, talking about TNA and GCW, I'd have told you were nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have told you you're crazy. So, and it's one thing that I was thinking about too, is just how much talent is out there now. And you look at WWE and AEW, and you have incredible people that maybe 7 or 8 years ago would easily be main eventing, and they're not getting out of the mid card. I mean, it is ridiculous how good this industry is right now, and I don't think people 100% are appreciating the era that we're seeing. Because you and I have been pro wrestling fans for 40 years. I've never seen anything like this.
There was a thought. You think back to, say, end of 2021, beginning of 2022, starting to come out of the pandemic. Pandemic shut down everything outside of WWE and AEW. You had Ring of Honor doing their shows in the arena in Baltimore. You had TNA doing the empty arena shows. Independent wrestling was not running. And there was a lot of concern about, okay, how is the wrestling industry going to survive coming out of a pandemic where everybody had to stay home? And now you look at it, and it looks like everybody is succeeding. It does my heart good, and not just the guys on TV. Independent wrestling scene is probably as hot as could be, considering what they had to go through. I'll be interested to see when WrestleMania heads your way. I know of course, I've seen the adverts for the Collective. There's another one. In fact, there's another kind of a conglomeration of promotions, because it has FSW, which is based out of your neck of the woods, and Texas Wrestling Cartel, based out of Corpus Christi, and they're part of a big kind of a multi-promotional deal there in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
for WrestleMania weekend. So I think there is a lot to be excited about with pro wrestling right now. Not just with the big guys, but with everything. And I say it on my show every week, go out and support independent wrestling. And now I would, now more than ever, because with all the eyes on independent wrestling between the WWE ID program and scouting talent and all this good stuff, it is such a great time to see the talent that is coming through those ranks, making their hay in independent wrestling. I've said it before. Get out and support, because you're going to see someone that you will see on TV eventually.
Yeah, we just had a great FSW card, guys. Like, Ice Williams was on the card, and Jordan Oasis has come out of here.
Yeah.
And we have a guy who, honestly, I can't believe that he hasn't gotten signed, as Danny Limelight, who has just been tearing it up all over the country.
Yeah.
It is just an unbelievable time in the industry. And
Right.
take advantage of it, everybody, man. It was, I didn't get to go to FSW last night, big card down there, but man, I'm sure that was a packed house. So
yeah, last Sunday we just had a huge show with the Road Wrestling Association, and again, you get to see the great up and coming talent. Vert Vixen, who's an Austin native. She's one of the best independent wrestlers out there, male or female. Former Defy Women's World Champion. She was the first Defy Women's World Champion. She's currently the Rhodes Wrestling Association Women's Champion. We got to see Dustin's nephews, Wayne and Wyatt Rhodes, the Texas Outlaws. They're the current Rhodes Wrestling Association Tag Team Champions. They had a great match. Again, it is so hard not to find good wrestling cards out there.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on all of that. And when we come back from break, I want to talk about a couple other big happenings that took place, because we got new AEW World Tag Team Champions. We had Saturday night's main event this week. And by the way, Matt Black from WrestleZone is going to be coming up in the second hour to join us too. I mean, it's getting hard to keep track of it, Stu. I've got a list of topics a mile long we can get into. So we're just going to go with it and see what happens. Stick around on the Mark Hoke Show. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm John Walsh here for Omega XL. Do you suffer from muscle pain and soreness due to overuse, daily activities, exercise, or aging like I do? Do you feel it in your back, your neck, knees, or joints? I know I did. I finally found a solution. It's Omega XL, a clinically proven natural drug-free supplement that helps relieve daily joint pain and muscle soreness. Omega XL delivers results you can feel. Made with a proprietary oil extract from green-lip mussels, it's a powerful super oil with no fishy aftertaste, small and easy to swallow, and is 16 times more potent than standard fish oil. Omega XL has been trusted by millions for over 2 decades and is backed by 40 years of clinical research. Don't let joint aches prevent you from doing the things you love.
Call now for Omega XL's BOGO special, 800-605-1059. That's less than $20 a bottle. Remember, there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. Terms apply. 800-605-1059. 800-605-1059 or OmegaXL.com/Walsh.
We've all got a thing. Yeah, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Right now at Wendy's, get 2 of these fave items for just $7. The spicier classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. It's an incredible deal, but an insanely difficult choice. Do you go double chicky sando, both spicy and classic, 1 beefy and 1 chicky? Or maybe you go all in on one and go Nug Max. 2 faves for just $7? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time only. Select a request 2 for $7 deal to redeem. Not valid in a combo or with saucy nugs. Single item at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at tryethos.com. That's tryethos.com.
We've all got a thing. Yeah, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
Yeah, that's... Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas. Also on the Odyssey app and live streaming on X, Facebook, and YouTube. So come join us in there if you can, and get in on the comments, say hi to us. And of course, I've got one of the best in the biz, man. And we're both old radio guys. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling out of Austin, Texas. Just unbelievable show. So make sure you check that out as well. Stu, we got new AEW World Tag Team Champions. As the Hurt Syndicate sends private party packing, I guess the Red Solo Cups will be put away for a little while. The rope is closed. But do you think this was too fast, Stu? Should we have been waiting to maybe do a little more with Lashley and Benjamin, or was it the right move?
It's hard to say. The reign that Private Party had, and I like Private Party. They're great kids. They're talented. But they just weren't booked right.
Well, they weren't booked at all.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the thing. They barely got a couple of title defenses in on this whole thing.
You're right. The Hurt Syndicate is hot. And it also brings up another point, and it has to at first I thought it was pretty much just an AEW thing, but I saw it on Saturday Night's Main Event last night. The crowd is going to cheer who they want to cheer. I get that. Hurt Syndicate is supposed to be heels.
Mm-hmm.
Private Party is supposed to be baby faces. Hurt Syndicate was over like Rover Wednesday night. They were, they were getting cheered with everything. And then last night, Jacob Fatu, again, supposed to be a heel, going up against Braun Strowman. He gets cheered, hitting the successive moonsaults. Now, old school wrestling fan, you and me, look, it's always been you cheer for the baby faces, you boo the heels. And I know that there are a lot of matches that are crafted based on the crowd reaction. Sometimes they'll hit certain things if they hear the crowd reacting a certain way. How hard is it now when you got the crowd cheering the heels?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't. It's a little bit. I mean, and I blame the NWO on this, but it's not really an NWO thing, because the NWO, they were the cool heels, which whatever. Now it's just how do you get a reaction out of the crowd that you want when they're going to cheer these heels? I'm not saying you got to turn them babyface, but it's kind of hard to get into a match when the bad guys are getting cheered.
I think it's this goes back to I'll take it back to the curtain call when, of course, the guys were getting ready to leave WWE, Nash and Hall, and they hugged it out with Triple H and X-Pac in the ring. And the curtain really got pulled back on what these guys don't hate each other. They're friends. And since that point, as we've gotten more and more into giving away the art of professional wrestling, that I think that it's gotten to the point where people just really appreciate what people are doing in the ring and the talent that they have. You look at a guy like Jacob Fautu, for example. What he did to Braun Strowman last night, when you and I have been watching wrestling in the 80s or 90s, everybody would have been aghast and like, this is the next big monster. And oh my God, who's going to stop this guy?
It would have been silent because he was destroying the babyface monster.
Yeah. Or booing him or throwing stuff in the ring or whatever. But now it's like, man, this guy's really good at what he does. We love his intensity. And he's incredibly athletic. And it's almost like it's almost like going to a baseball game and you appreciate the talents, even though you may not like them. But it's a really weird situation that has been slowly building over time over the last 20 to 25 years.
Yeah.
And it makes it really hard to, and I hate to be in the writing rooms right now.
Oh,
for AEW and WWE. What do you do? What do you do?
Well, and that's
thing. You have Private Party, who everybody just loved to death, and then Hurt Syndicate's getting cheered on, and I think some of it too, like in AEW, you've got a lot of the veterans, like the older veterans, on top. The guys in their 40s and 50s, kind of running the show out there, because people like them and they appreciate what they do. It's very difficult to book professional wrestling right now. I don't think people understand the complexity that is going into all this.
The other thing that I have a problem with, you look at the list of champions in AEW, every one of them is a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Usually WWE, WCW, whatever, you'd have at least, a little bit of a mix. But right now, every title holder in AEW that holds an AEW title is a heel. Moxley, Okada, Takeshita, Private Party, Death Riders, Mariah May, Mercedes Moné. And I say that there is one babyface champion, Daniel Garcia. But even he hasn't been featured that much, which again, what's going on?
And and that goes back to having the wealth of talent that everybody's got too, that there are so many good wrestlers in all these organizations that it's just hard to find a place for them and keep momentum going. And man, it is difficult. And I think people bang on booking so much, but man, you have so many complexities that are going on right now, and fans just aren't responding to pro wrestlers the way that we were used to seeing it happen. So yeah, tricky area, but great points, Stu. I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to wrap up hour number 1. Of course, hour 2, we've got Matt Black from WrestleZone joining in the fun. And Stu, I know what that means. That means it gets spicy in here.
All right, let's do
it. Because Matt loves to go crazy. But once again, we would really like to have you join us at Mark Hoke Show on X, Facebook, and YouTube at the Mark Hoke Show. Come on in. The water's fine. And do want to remind everybody, a lot of cool stuff going on in Vegas. We have a big announcement that just popped up, and maybe a sad side to it too, but we'll let you know all about it. So check us out. Hour 2 coming up, and we're going to get into Royal Rumble time too, Stu. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? I don't know. I got no clue. Well, maybe I have a clue or two, but we'll talk about that in hour 2 as Matt Black is going to be joining us. Should be a great time, but we would love to have you stick around with us for hour 2 of the Mark Hoke Show. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join the Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Is your car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait, you pay nothing on repairs? Ox gets it fixed? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance?
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-230-8357. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care. 800-230-8357. 800-230-8357. Or go to oxcarcare.com.
Hi, I'm Sherry Harris, owner of LifeSource Water. I love that when I'm spending time with my grandson, I can make him a bottle using water from any tap in our home. With a LifeSource whole house system, every drop is clean, healthy, and ready for anything, from baby bottles to bath time. Plus, no regular filter changes, no fuss, just clean water throughout the entire house. You deserve water that performs at its peak. So call 1-800-WATER-99 or visit lifesourcewater.com for factory direct pricing today.
Warranty limitations apply.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
The pro football playoff season is here, and there's one place to be. The BetQL Network, presented by BetMGM.
Your home for wagertainment, giving you the sharpest insights and bringing on expert guest analysis.
From point spreads to props, live betting to futures, BetQL has you covered every step of the way with wall-to-wall coverage on the road to the championship in New Orleans.
Listen live on the BetQL Network, presented by BetMGM on the free Odyssey app and twitch.tv/BetQL or YouTube at Odyssey Sports.
KMXP HD3 Henderson, K268CS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 1015 FM KDAWN.
Israel is claiming Hamas violated the ceasefire deal. I'm Ann Carrick, Fox News. Apparently, an important deadline was missed. Fox's Trey Yingst is in Tel Aviv.
After the release of 4 Israeli hostages, Hamas has failed to provide a list of other hostages that are supposed to be released during phase 1 of the deal. Now, this was one of the key demands for Israel, and it puts the entire agreement in jeopardy. While the ceasefire deal remains on shaky ground, Israel learned the Trump administration has unfrozen the delivery of 2,000-pound bombs from the United States, a move that was taken under the Biden administration to stop those bombs from making their way here to Israel due to the civilian casualty rate in Gaza. Now, with the return of these bombs, they could be used if the war resumes against Israel and Hamas or between Israel and Hezbollah.
Israel is refusing to allow Palestinians to return to their homes in northern Gaza until an additional civilian hostage is released. President Trump is considering sending nearly 90,000 IRS agents to the southern border to help with immigration enforcement efforts. Fox's Chanley Painter reports on the president's latest deportation efforts.
The Trump administration's mass deportation operation now active on the West Coast, with roundups beginning in Sanctuary City, Los Angeles over the weekend, according to the New York Post. Deportation flights now taking off daily with the use of military C-17 planes, but the White House is looking to scale up operations by seeking more available aircraft from at least half a dozen sources. Meantime, at a rally in Las Vegas yesterday, President Trump said he is considering moving IRS agents to the border. Feds are reportedly having to scout more spaces to house migrants as current detention sites are expected to fill up quickly.
More than 1,400 migrants were arrested, according to ICE, and more than 1,200 detainer requests were filed. The White House also has discussed additional planes to increase deportations. America's listening to Fox News.
Fox News Audio presents the Fox Nation Investigates podcast, a look into the Menendez brothers with victims or villains. Then, Judge Janine Pirro and a panel of experts break down their new fight for freedom with monsters or misunderstood, and follow 3 incredible cases where world-renowned forensic pathologist Dr. Michael Botten helps change the course of the investigation with the Botten Files. Listen and follow at foxtruecrime.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
It is time to take the quiz.
5 days a week, it's 5 questions in less than 5 minutes. We ask people on the streets of New York City to play along. Let's see how you do.
Including the pre-Super Bowl era, what NFL franchise has won the most NFL championships?
I'm going to say the Cowboys.
Good guess. I would say the Packers.
How'd you do exactly? These get tougher, so hang on.
Take the quiz every weekday at thequiz.fox. Thank you for taking the quiz.
Get your daily dose of news with a Fox News Rundown. A contrast of perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. Going far beyond the headlines. Tomorrow morning at 5 on 101.5 FM KDAWN.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Come on, rise and shine, you Vegas drunks. Welcome to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Happy to have you joining us for the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment as we give you all the breakdown of everything going on in pro wrestling. And it's going to be a big week because it's Rumble time. That's right, kids. 30 people enter. 1 gets a title shot. The men's side and the ladies' side should be a terrific evening for everybody on Saturday night. But of course, we've got Stu Myrick here with me on the, riding shotgun from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Happy to have him joining us. Stu,
Mark,
what's up?
Rain chances here in Austin.
Oh, good for you.
We might get some rain. We need it. It's pretty dry.
We're supposed to get some rain finally. It's been the second longest streak we had of like 190 some days. And it looks like we're going to get some rain finally. So that's good. And now I'm going to release the hounds because we have to get this gentleman in here, and always happy to have him on the show. The wrestling world may not be too happy about it sometimes, but that's okay because that's why we love him to death. From WrestleZone.com, he is the Lord and overseer of everything on that darn site. Matt Black is with us. What's up?
I wouldn't go that far, but how you doing?
Good. Happy to have you, Matt. Thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
All right. So let's get into some WWE stuff, and then we've got some tidbits as we go along here. Guys, your thoughts on Saturday night's main event last night? Pretty good show. A lot of nostalgia again. I'm going to ask a question along with your thoughts about the show. Is Saturday night's main event still going to be worth the watch? And the only reason I'm saying that is that it's sometimes, so far, it's kind of felt like a spectacle more than anything really important is going to happen on the show. So do you think maybe we need to have a big happening take place on Saturday night's main event soon so people don't stop tuning in? Let me start with you on that, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. There was a lot of hype for the debut last month and nothing happened. And I was like, oh, I'll correct myself. The only thing that newsworthy that happened on the last Saturday night's main event in December didn't air on NBC, and they put it on their social media instead. Then last night, beyond the Jacob Fatu angle where he destroyed Braun Strowman, there was nothing worth seeing last night on Saturday night's main event. It was a completely missable show. And they've done this twice now. WWE is training their audience. Hey, you don't really need to watch this. You're not going to miss anything if you skip this show. And that's a dangerous precedent to set when you're supposed to be running 4 of these a year on NBC. These should feel like important must-see shows that if you miss them, you will regret not seeing them. And their first 2 shows have totally been like, yeah, if I didn't see it, oh well. They'll catch me up in 30 seconds on Raw or SmackDown, and I didn't miss anything. And that's not the way, in my opinion, they should be handling these shows. So 2 for 2 of me being completely disappointed in Saturday night's main event. And as someone who grew up on this show growing up, this ain't it. I don't like what they're doing.
Stu, what do you think? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I thought Collision blew Saturday night's main event out of the water last night.
Collision was great. We're going to get into that in a little bit. Stu, your thoughts?
It's starting to feel a little bit like when AEW do those Battle of the Belts.
There you go.
And they were totally missable. No title changes ever happened. Now we've had 2 Saturday night's main events. And look, I'm all for being here. I love the fact that this week, WWE was in Texas. You start with Raw in Dallas, then SmackDown at the Moody Center here in Austin. They got in the mood, as our Minister of Culture, Matthew McConaughey, would say. And then a little bit further down I-35 to the Frostbank Center in San Antonio, the home of the Spurs. And they brought out a bunch of legends. We saw, I'll call her Medusa. I don't care what WWE wants to call her. She's Medusa.
Yeah.
They had Ted DiBiase, Mark Henry, which Mark lives here, so it's kind of like he's in the backyard. And I love Mark. Don't get me wrong.
Hey, Mark, we're gonna pick you up on the way over, man. Let's go.
But yeah, no title changes. Like Matt said, I can watch the recap, the 30-second recap on Raw, and see everything that happened. So why do I need to tune in to Saturday night's main event?
Yeah, they're going to have to be careful with this because you had the moment with Shawn Michaels super kicking Kevin Owens, but that's a thing that we can go and watch on video. The Jacob Fatu assault on Braun Strowman, something that, while it was cool, something we can catch up on later. And a lot of stuff with Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax, great match. I mean, those two, when you have 2 women that are that strong, they can do some cool stuff. But I need more. And we were this close to we've been close to having a title change, and maybe they've got something planned too. But I think one thing that was difficult for them as well is that show being so close to the Royal Rumble that you really couldn't do anything that significant. I mean, well, you could have. I mean, you
absolutely could have. They're only going to have 4 matches.
They're
only going to have 4 matches at the Rumble. They easily could have put a random title match on here and had a title change. It doesn't need to even be an important title.
Well,
change the women's tag team titles or something. Just do something that makes it feel like you missed out on something if you didn't tune into the show.
For that matter, have Sheamus win the IC title. Let's make a moment.
My boss was certain that Sheamus was winning on Saturday. I'm like, I don't think he's winning, dude. And I was right.
Yeah,
I wish I would have been wrong though. It would have been a nice moment, and it would have made people regret not tuning in.
Yeah, or Jey Uso winning would have been. I didn't think that was going to happen, but
I saw a lot of the speculation of like, oh, Goldberg's going to come out and distract Gunther because Raw's in Atlanta on Monday, and then they're going to have the Goldberg and Gunther face off, and they'll face off at Mania. And I'm like, I guess that could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen, and it didn't happen.
No.
So
And I was a little surprised they didn't have Goldberg on there because he lives in San Antonio. So again, it just, as I said, they kept talking about Sheamus winning his first world title in San Antonio. All right, let's build on that with him winning the last piece of his Grand Slam status in San Antonio. Made total sense, but no. Instead, all the champions retained. Yeah, you had the super kick. Yeah, you had Fatu. But again, a 30-second recap on Raw will catch me up on that.
Yeah, and it would be fun to see Sheamus maybe win the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania, but now you gave him another loss to Braun Breaker, so so it doesn't fit the story. I don't know.
And a clean loss on top of that.
Yeah. So tricky place for Saturday night's main event. We'll see how things go there. But guys, we are at Royal Rumble time. We're a week away. And I don't know who's going to win this thing. We have had many years that we've gone into this that it was pretty obvious, at least on the men's side, who was going to win the Royal Rumble. I don't think it's that obvious this year. There are so many people that you could realistically see getting a victory on Saturday night. Stu, if you maybe had to give me your top 3-ish. Now, who are your favorites to win, and who would you like to see win?
Man, okay, that's tough. By the way, before we get to that, was I the only one at the beginning of Saturday night's main event that was hearing both English and Spanish?
No, it happened to everybody.
It was an
That's got to be
NBC issue.
That was an embarrassment for WWE as well. I would see that on AEW. You don't see that on WWE. That was you lost the first 5-6 minutes of that show because couldn't tell what was being said. It was
plus
weird.
Jesse Ventura is talking too, so that's kind of what he's there to do. So, whoops.
He hates referees, by the way. My God. He always has. That's his calling card. He hates referees. As far as the Rumble goes, man, it is hard to tell. I mean, obviously John Cena is going to be in the mix because it's the retirement tour, all that good stuff. So that's one that would be a nice, nice moment. As far as the other two, man, Jey Uso, maybe he gets another title shot. I don't know. Again, he lost clean, so I'm a little skeptical about that. Could it be Jimmy Uso? Could it be Roman? Could it be, my God? And then on the women's side, I think the women's side might be even more.
Oh, that's wide
discombobulated. There are, I'd say, a good at least half dozen that you could make a case to win the Rumble.
Yeah, don't forget about Punky Brewster, by the way. Matt, what do you think about the Rumble this week? Who you got?
I think the smart money is on John Cena. I think that's their plan. Everybody's saying, "Oh, he can win the Elimination Chamber." I'm going back. This is this man's final year of in-ring competition. John Cena is not going into a match that has a high risk of injury in his last year of competition. He's not doing the Elimination Chamber. He's not doing Money in the Bank. He's not doing any of these crazy matches where he could get hurt and derail his entire run this year. That's not happening. Royal Rumble tossing a couple people over the top rope and winning his way to WrestleMania. That's logical. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not Cena, you could throw the dark horse in there and you could do the Sami Zayn turn at the Rumble and he can help KO beat Cody and then Zayn could win the Rumble and they could do Zayn and KO at Mania. I don't think they're going to do that, but I mean there's the possibility there. And I honestly, it's hard when you look at who the champions are to try to determine, okay, what kind of challenger makes sense. You're not doing Roman and Cody for the third year in a row.
No.
Like you're just not. And like all reports suggest it's going to be Roman and Punk at Mania. And at that point, I don't foresee a title being on the line there. The reports are Logan Paul's going to face Gunther, or at least that's something that's been talked about. If Gunther still holds the title, if you let Logan Paul win the Rumble, you might as well just be lighting your company on fire.
Yeah,
because everybody's going to hate that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's Cena. I know it's star-studded. I know it's one of the most stacked Royal Rumbles in recent memory, but Cena's the only one that makes logical sense to me right now, given who the current champions are at the moment. And of course, that could change. They have plenty of time to change those titles around to fit WrestleMania into their vision of whatever they want come April. But as the current champions sit right now, Cena's the only thing that that makes sense to me. As far as the women go, if she wasn't one half of the tag team champions right now, I would think this would be a good year for Bianca Belair to win the Rumble. I've heard rumors of them finally wanting to pull the trigger on her and Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania this year, which would be cool, but then you're kind of derailing whatever this whole Jade Cargill storyline is right now. Or maybe she's so seriously out of it, she's not going to be back in time for Mania, and that's not going to matter anyway. Of course, Charlotte's returning at the Rumble. They could do Charlotte, and they could obviously, that hasn't been confirmed, but we know Becky's back under contract, so Becky could come back and win. I honestly think the women's Rumble is a lot more open this year than the men's is, despite how stacked the men's side is. I think there's a lot more possibilities in terms of who could win the women's Royal Rumble than there could be the men's right now.
Yeah, and we're on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Matt Black from WrestleZone. There's a name you guys didn't say.
Who?
How about Randy Orton? How about the Randy Orton and get the Orton Rhodes showdown?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
I like that more as like a SummerSlam match than a WrestleMania match.
I'm with you, Matt. Will Orton be, cleared in time? They haven't even mentioned Randy Orton outside of, he did this with Randy Orton or whatever. I don't think Randy Orton's winning the Rumble. I don't think that fits right now. I'm with Matt. I could see it as a SummerSlam match, maybe.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a very entertaining night, to say the least, as we go in there. But how excited are you guys for the Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens match? And do you possibly see a title change happening at this thing? Matt, what do you think on that?
Like I said earlier, it's possible. They planted the seeds with the possible, Sami Zayn turn. Sami's desperate to become a world champion. If Kevin's going to help him win the Rumble, he can help Kevin defeat Cody. They could do that match at Mania. I mean, I know we've seen it before, but people love the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn dynamic. I think it could work. You could do Cena and Cody at WrestleMania without the title.
Yes.
It's not like they haven't done it before. They did Rock and Hogan, at 18 Icon versus Icon without the title. This could be this generation's Icon versus Icon match. And it totally doesn't need the championship. And you make another marquee match for WrestleMania by putting the title elsewhere. If I was a betting man, I say Cody retains. They love to give Kevin Owens world title shots at the Royal Rumble and always come up short. And I don't expect this Saturday to be any different, but I would love to be pleasantly surprised.
Stu?
Yeah, there's a shot, but something tells me they're going to keep Cody as champion for WrestleMania. I think it's whoever wins the Rumble or whoever wins Elimination Chamber, whoever the opponent is versus Cody is the bigger match. and you want the biggest match possible for WrestleMania. So I don't think KO comes out as champion next Saturday. I think there will be some sort of, I could see Sami Zayn helping Cody. And then you set up a Sami versus Kevin match for either Elimination Chamber because it's in Toronto, or save it for Mania.
Yeah, this is one place, to start off the discussion that we had, go back to it. It is one of the most wide open years that we have seen in quite a while. So I can't wait. The picture is going to be a little clearer on Saturday night. So hold on to your hats, kids. It's going to be wild. By the way, I wanted to get to a couple comments in the chat box. There's some more too. By the way, Mark Cho says everyone loves Matt. And
I appreciate it.
And Gamer Bear also says everybody does love Matt. Just a fact. So we just had to. I wanted to make sure you got the love you deserve, Matt.
I appreciate the support, guys. I don't know if that's entirely accurate, but I appreciate it nonetheless. So thank you.
All right, let's step back and take a break. And when we come back, special announcement for everybody here in Las Vegas. But is there a price to be paid? Oh boy. Stick around, everybody. All you Vegas wrestling fans are going to want to hear this. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas.
You wanted to sell your old car, but you waited. You wanted the best incentives, but still you waited. Now your wait is over. Get to Centennial Toyota for their Drive into 2025 sales event. Shop over 700 vehicles at Las Vegas's largest indoor showroom with discounts up to $18,000 off MSRP and 0% APR financing for up to 72 months. Plus, we're paying top dollar for trades, and we're paying for your registration all month long. Don't wait. Drive into 2025 with Centennial Toyota, conveniently located in Centennial Center, or visit CentennialToyota.com, where it's fun to buy a car. Up to $18,000 off new Toyotas and 0% APR financing for up to 72 months. Select models approved. Credit includes all rebates, excludes tax, title, license, $4.99 dealer down fee, monthly payment $13.88 per thousand, finance ends 2/3/25.
The county just requested more electric charging stations.
Orders have really amped up at Able Electric.
We need 3 more at First and Main, and we just got another hotel chain.
It's no shock. Able Electric needs able electricians.
Grocery store wants charging stations too.
And fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
101.5 FM KDAWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Let's get back to it. The best pro wrestling news and entertainment on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Happy to have you joining us if you're on KDAWN, the Odyssey app, or on the live stream on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Happy to just share our wrestling knowledge and fun with all of you today. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Matt Black from WrestleZone is here. And I saved this one for Matt because I'm sure he's going to have something to say about it. So we just got an announcement a little while ago that that AEW will be bringing Collision up here on March 15th. That is going to be at the Virgin Hotel and Casino Theater. So it should be a lot of fun for everybody. So you can get your tickets now for that event. Collision's always fun to go to, and the Virgin, pretty neat venue down there. So looking forward to that. So guys, if you're, obviously you're a wrestling fan if you're listening to the show, but even if you're a casual fan, here's a chance to go see AEW live. And of course, we have WrestleMania coming up mid-April, but the rumor mill is afloat that the AEW staple, Double or Nothing, that has been here over Memorial Day weekend for quite a few years, for a few years now, may not be coming back to Las Vegas due to maybe partially an oversaturation of the market, just coming off WrestleMania. Some, the attendance has gone down over the past couple of years. Of course, that's happened with a lot of AEW events. But guys, very interesting situation here in Las Vegas. Double or Nothing. Should they leave it here since they've had it here the whole time? Or is it time to go like I know Matt Black probably thinks it is? Matty?
It was time to go last year. It's definitely time to go this year. You don't come in there a few weeks after WrestleMania and expect to do well. Vegas is going to be wrestled out after that week in Las Vegas in April. It would have been one of the stupidest decisions AEW could have made this year to go running Double or Nothing in Las Vegas right after WrestleMania. I don't care where they run at this point, but anywhere would have been better than going back to Vegas this year. I think they made the right call, and I think this will benefit them greatly. And wherever they end up, I guarantee they'll have a bigger crowd and a louder crowd than they would have had in Vegas this year.
Stu, do you agree with? I mean, and just so you know, this hasn't been announced yet or anything, but this is where the rumor mill's saying. But Stu, what do you think about that? Do you think that this will be just a good business decision?
Yeah, you look at based on history, Double or Nothing's usually about Double or Nothing should be about 6 weeks after WrestleMania. As Matt said, I think Las Vegas is going to be wrestled out. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening. And by the way, there's also the talk that Tony will not do Supercard of Honor for Ring of Honor on WrestleMania weekend.
That was reported by us, by the way.
And that is a staple. I've been to 7 or 8 of those. Love them. Met Kerry Silkin in Florida at Supercard of Honor. Of course, we became wonderful friends. That has always been a highlight whenever I would go cover WrestleMania, was to go to Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. So that's going to be weird that Supercard of Honor will not, if it is true that they won't be there in Las Vegas. I think that might be the riskier move than moving Double or Nothing out of Vegas. I think Double or Nothing can get a bigger crowd if they are somewhere else. But Supercard of Honor is kind of it's one of those traditions that we see on WrestleMania weekend. So to break that tradition, yeah, I'm a little sad about that.
Yeah, of course, then all this is still in the Ethernet out there, but we'll find out what Tony decides to do booking some of these events in the near future. But we also did hear that they're talking about doing a Saturday Night's Main Event here in Las Vegas over All In weekend too. So I don't know, man. This is getting crazy.
Well, and that's going to be kind of crazy because, yeah, you're going to do Saturday night's main event, which, and as we talked about earlier, if they continue this trend, hey, I'm not too worried about All In. Look, you're going to have All In at Globe Life Field in Arlington, the home of the Texas Rangers. Tony Khan has said repeatedly how much he loves running the Metroplex. He loves running Texas, but definitely the Metroplex. You got that fan base there that are, you go back to the world-class days. And I think if they book the right card for Globe Life Field, I don't think Tony's going to sweat it one bit, especially, as I said, if we keep seeing this trend of nothing happening at Saturday night's main event, I'm not too worried.
Yeah, it's interesting that they would do that, but the world of
It's
pro
not
wrestling
surprising.
No, yeah, not at all.
But if I loved his comparison earlier in Saturday night's main event, feels like Battle of the Belts. Completely missable special just for the sake of having it, which is a shame, but that's exactly what it feels like. And by July, when we get to All In, which will be at All In, by the way, I'm very much looking forward to that. By that point, I'm sure there will be at least another Saturday night's main event between now and then. So if they do 3 very missable Saturday night's main event, by the time they get to that one in July, people are going to be like, yeah, I'm going to watch AEW's WrestleMania, because that's what essentially All In has become. It is AEW's WrestleMania. So are you going to watch a missable Saturday night's main event, or are you going to watch another company's WrestleMania? To me, I think it's an easy decision, even for the most diehard WWE fan. I think they're going to want to see what AEW is doing on their biggest night of the year.
Yeah, and things are starting to, I think, get better for AEW. We're seeing some pretty interesting storylines, including one that I think everybody got a kick out of last night, and I have not seen anybody say anything negative about this. The retransformation of Toni Storm last night, as she went from being her rookie self to being timeless again, as she will meet Mariah May in Australia in a couple of weeks. What did you guys think of that, Stu? Was this as awesome as everybody's making this sound? I mean, I watched it and I thought it was terrific.
I'll be honest, it confused me a little bit. I was going, okay, I think that's what's happening, but it took a moment. Now, once it happened, then okay, we get timeless Toni Storm back. Okay. I mean, it was fun. It was fun to watch. I liked it. It was a good bit of television. Sets up that match in Australia wonderfully. So yeah, I was, that was fun.
Matt, what'd you think of it?
I thought it was fantastic. AEW needs to do more things like this on Collision. I mean, because Collision, it's very much been labeled as AEW secondary show. You need to have more storyline, key moments take place on Collision to make sure people have a reason to continue to tune in. So I thought this was a great step in the right direction for Collision to have a big moment such as this take place on that show. And they need to continue to do this. At least, I would say at least twice a month. They need to have big storyline pivots or moments play out on Collision to make people feel like, yeah, I watch Dynamite every week, but Collision, I can DVR or I can skip it or whatever. Make people feel like they can't skip Collision. And I thought this was a perfect move to make, because I saw people complaining on social media last night. The complaints were, why would they air this on Collision?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because they have a gigantic television deal for both of these shows, and they need to boost the ratings for Collision.
Yeah.
So yes, why air it on Collision? That's why you air it on Collision. So I hope they continue to do things like this and make Collision. Of course, they can't. I don't think they can make it as must see as Dynamite every week, but they can get it closer to the Dynamite level and get that viewership raised up. Football's leaving. Football's about to go away in a couple weeks, so you're gonna have those weekends free now. You're not facing the NFL or college football anymore, this is the perfect opportunity to boost those ratings up on Saturday nights. So they need to start continuing to have these big moments every Saturday.
Yeah, and I think Tony's work on this, while it was slightly bizarre, was pretty incredible. And it really showed a cool side of her that she's just been able to for her to be able to flip that switch. There's not many people out there in pro wrestling that could do that. There's not. So I give Tony Storm massive kudos. And by the way, Matthew Rodriguez in the chat box had asked about that Mariah May and Tony Storm segment. So Matthew, we got you.
I was glad we didn't see anything from the Death Riders last night. I'm sick of it.
The less Death Riders, the better.
The promo thing with they're gonna do the AEW up close with Renee and John, which by the way, that's weird because of course they're married. But I said it last week, I'll say it again. We need to kill this Death Riders thing soon. Put the title on Omega, put the title on Ospreay, put it on somebody and get rid of the Death Riders, because this Death Riders thing is dead in the water.
Put it on anyone. I don't care at this point. End this story because it doesn't make any sense. I've had it up to here with the Death Rider stuff because the storyline doesn't make any sense. What Moxley claimed he was trying to do at the beginning has completely changed to what they're doing now. It doesn't make the storyline doesn't make any sense anymore. They've lost the plot. It's time to kill it. At Revolution, I don't care who they put up against Moxley. They need to win and they need to move on from this shit.
I agree. I tell you what, I vouch because I work for him. Put the title on Dustin Rhodes. Give him his one world title reign. He is in the prime of this run with AEW, and I will tell you from personal, my relationship with Dustin. He says that a world title reign isn't that important. I can tell you it is. So even if he is a transitional champion, put the AEW world title on the Natural now.
Wow, that would be an interesting call. Especially right now, it looks like they're headed towards Cope.
I would literally take anyone over Moxley right now.
Yeah, I would too.
You could put the freaking title on Max Caster at this point. And y'all know how I feel about Max Caster. I can't stand the guy. But at least if he's holding the world title, he has a claim to be the best wrestler alive.
There you go.
Absolutely. Anything is better than this Moxley title reign right now with the Death Riders. I am so over it.
So you're saying you don't like Mox as champ?
Huh?
Not right now. And I'll be honest, I miss the old Moxley.
Yeah.
The old Moxley was look, I'm me and Simon Miller, Goofy Wrestling for Life. But even I don't like I hate heavy drama. And every time Moxley's on my TV screen now, I get heavy drama. It's like, for the love of God, it's not fun to watch. I turned the channel. I was watching IMSA last night, watching the Rolex 24 at Daytona. I was flipping back and forth between that and Collision because So
I do agree with the storyline's gotten pretty convoluted, and the whole point was to change AEW. The only way that I see this working is that once somebody beats Moxley, he pulls this, and because you have a lot of people coming after him right now, is I got everybody remotivated and da and but that would just seem so anticlimactic. But before we go to break, I do want to ask you guys about one guy, and that is MJF and this feud with Jeff Jarrett coming up. But man, what happened? I mean, I know he got hurt, but I'm not excited about him taking on Jeff Jarrett. And this is the guy that should be at the top of the card, but did they get him? Did they mess it up too much? Is MJF somewhat damaged goods right now? Matt, what do you think?
I think we all need to be thankful that the back and forth promo between the two of them a couple weeks ago bombed, and it bombed bad. Because you could tell on this week's episode of Dynamite, they're pivoting away from this. They're gonna blow it off quickly and they're gonna move on. Like whatever long-term plans they had for the Jarrett MJF thing was blown up because of that back and forth promo 2 weeks ago. It's they're gonna wrap it up and they're gonna wrap it up quick. The new direction for MJF is clearly Hangman Page, and they set that up on Dynamite this week, and that's what they're gonna end up changing towards. I think we're going to get Hangman and MJF at Revolution, because I think we're on the fast track to Hangman going back babyface and being that central figurehead character in the company that people want him to be. And I think MJF will rebound from this nicely, because working with someone like Hangman is a lot better than working with someone like Jarrett.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's the nuance of Hangman getting confronted by Christopher Daniels, who I love to death, by the way. CD telling him, okay, congratulations, you won the match, you retired me. And you saw the expression on Hangman's face change from this angry guy to, oh my God, what did I just do? Like Matt said, I think we are getting Hangman back on the track to become babyface. I would love to see Hangman and Max and Jeff, and I'm a big fan of both of them. Yeah, the promo battle bombed. Let's get it over with and move on.
Yeah, and there's so much more happening in AEW right now too. You've got the Ricochet and Swerve Strickland feud, and I think people are starting to get into that.
Yeah,
I think they are. It feels
agree.
like it. Even though I wish they would have given Max Caster the scissors instead of Ricochet. Now that would have been a little fun thing to do, but
no, I like Ricochet having it. If no other reason, now we can take Ricochet a little more seriously.
He's doing the best promo work of his career I've seen.
Yes.
I mean, absolutely found a character.
Yep.
And it will be interesting to see when that feud is over, which way both of those guys go, because Swerve was just the world champion a while ago and was riding high on top of the world, and lost to Page, and then kind of he's hanging around. He's lurking, I guess would be a good word for Swerve Strickland right now.
Well, they've been very smart with Swerve's booking in the past couple of months, because every time he gets that opportunity to get right back in the title picture, someone's stopping him from getting there. Like he had that opportunity to earn the title shot, and the Ricochet cost him. And like every time he's like right there, he runs into a new obstacle that's preventing him from getting back into the main event scene. So they're keeping Swerve in that bubble of momentum. And when they push him back into it, Swerve's absolutely somebody I could see like, oh, Moxley, you're violent. Well, I'm just as violent as you are. And I can, defend AEW and take that title. They're kind of doing the same thing with Ospreay at the time. Every time Ospreay's close to getting into that title picture, the Don Callis family is dragging him back down. So they're keeping like the serious, credible challengers for Moxley bubbling underneath right now. And when they want to push one of them up and to pull the trigger and end this Moxley title reign, they're gonna have a murder's row of people that they could choose from to do that. And it seems like they continue to want to do the Copeland thing. If they want to put the title on Cope, fine. Because to me, Cope is the perfect person for Christian Cage to cash in on.
Yeah, I know.
And I wouldn't be overly upset about it, because it would totally play into both of their characters.
Yep.
And then we could go from there. And anybody could be Christian Cage. And I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm just saying as Christian Cage he's not an unbeatable character in professional wrestling. So like you could put Cage up against any top star in AEW and believe that they can beat him.
Yeah.
So
the road twists and turns as it happens in pro wrestling. It is amazing, and just such a great time in the industry. And we'll see how everything goes as the road to All In is slightly starting to take shape. But we got Revolution coming up here first and Double or Nothing. So should be a fun time down in LA. You guys got to get out for that. I think we should all just road trip down to LA. Be a good time.
We'll see.
Okay.
I'm already going to All in Texas. I think I'm good.
Fine. Be that way.
If that's going to be an expensive enough trip as it is, my friend.
Yeah, that is a much shorter trip for me because it's just 3 hours up I-35 for me.
Yeah, you should come to Texas, Mark.
I'm actually trying to make my plans to come to Texas for
there
that.
we go.
See?
There we go. That sounds great.
I already offered. I said if you come to Texas, barbecue on me. Real.
How can you turn that down?
Meat. Okay.
Real Texas barbecue.
I will take that into heavy consideration. All right, guys, let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll wrap up the show. Some interesting little tidbits, some possible returns, little contract disputes. And I'm going to get my shot in on the Iowa Hawkeyes because they deserve it. So stick around, everybody. We got more on the Mark Hoke Show when we return. Best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on 101.5 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas.
Hi, I'm John Walsh here for Omega XL. Do you suffer from muscle pain and soreness due to overuse, daily activities, exercise, or aging like I do? Do you feel it in your back, your neck, knees, or joints? I know I did. I finally found a solution. It's Omega XL, a clinically proven natural drug-free supplement that helps relieve daily joint pain and muscle soreness. Omega XL delivers results you can feel. Made with a proprietary oil extract from green lip mussels, it's a powerful super oil with no fishy aftertaste, small and easy to swallow, and is 16 times more potent than standard fish oil. Omega XL has been trusted by millions for over 2 decades and is backed by 40 years of clinical research. Don't let joint aches prevent you from doing the things you love.
Call now for Omega XL's BOGO special, 800-605-1059. That's less than $20 a bottle. Remember, there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. Terms apply. 800-605-1059. 800-605-1059 or OmegaXL.com/Walsh.
We've all got a thing. Yeah, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at tryethos.com. That's tryethos.com.
Right now at Wendy's, get 2 of these fave items for just $7. The spicier classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. It's an incredible deal, but an insanely difficult choice. Do you go double chicky sando, both spicy and classic, 1 beefy and 1 chicky? Or maybe you go all in on one and go Nug Max. 2 faves for just $7? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time only. Select a request 2 for $7 deal to redeem. Not valid in a combo or with saucy nugs. Single item at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2, have a plan to get there. Step 3, make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all 3 with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
We've all got a thing. Yeah, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
101.5 FM KDAWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, we're back for the final segment here of the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas, also on the Odyssey app and streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, and Matt Black from WrestleZone. Do have to get a couple tiny things in here real quick. First, got to remind everybody about our good friends at Off Grid Creations. Maybe you want to get a Cody Sucks Egg shirt, a bunch of them for all your friends, or any sort of promotional products, like a Winged Eagle belt shirt. I don't know, just whatever you want to do, or maybe get some WrestleZone pins. You can do it with Off Grid Creations. Give my good friend Mike a call at 661-300-1115. Visit off-gridcreations.com. He will take good care of you. Just tell him the Mark Hoke Show sent you. Get a free consultation on everything, what you need to do to help market your company. Also, of course, with so many things going on in Las Vegas, man, you need to book some rooms, and it's WrestleMania time, man. You don't want to wait anymore. Go to the travelshark.com/Hoke Show. Make sure you use that last part, /Hoke Show, and visit the travelshark.com for great hotel deals. So those company employee prices, the mystery prices that you see on Priceline, well, you don't have to guess anymore. Just go to the travelshark.com /Hoke Show, or if you're going to All In, maybe, book your rooms now. You can do it there too. It's a pretty awesome site. So please check it out. Guys, a couple people maybe coming into WWE. Nikki Bella, she's maybe talking about making a comeback. We're also maybe seeing Malachi Black possibly. Unfortunately, he's not going to make it to the Rumble. He's still under contract. But you excited about those two possible names coming into WWE?
No,
Stu's thinking about it.
No,
Go ahead.
yes. Nikki Bella, all right. We've already seen it. Malachi reverting back to Aleister Black. That could be interesting. We saw the rebranding. They are now the Hounds of Hell on AEW. Brody King and Buddy Matthews and Julia Hart. I like Malachi Black. I've met him a few times. He's a great guy. I hope he finds success back in WWE or wherever he decides to go.
Yeah. And Matt, we have some interesting stuff going on with Alexa Bliss too, because apparently she wanted to rework her contract, and WWE's like, no, you've got a contract, and they scrapped everything they had planned for her. You see this going well, Matt?
From my understanding, and please don't quote me on this. Yeah, I'm saying this on radio. From my understanding, had they not tacked on any additional time to her deal, her current contract would already be expired. So in her mind, she felt at this point in time she deserved a new contract to come back and work with the Wyatt Six and do all that kind of stuff. And WWE's like, well, no, we extended all your time, so you're going to come and work under the the terms that you've already had. And Alexa Bliss's representatives pushed back on that, and WWE dug their heels in, and now everything's off the table. And until one side decides to cave, I don't know if we're ever going to see Alexa Bliss back on WWE programming. It could be this could be it. Like,
yeah.
It's not a good situation for those two sides right now, and it's very unfortunate because I know there's a big Alexa Bliss fan base that was excited for her return, and I think this hurts the Wyatt Six even more than they've already been, because I think a lot of people were waiting for Alexa to come in and kick that stable up to the next level, and without her, they got moved to SmackDown, and we haven't seen them since.
Yeah,
that's not a good sign for them, and I kind of feel bad for Bo and all of them that they're just kind of in creative limbo right now, waiting for something to happen. That's a real shame.
Yeah. Well, before we go, I got to mention for wrestling fans, Iowa Penn State coming up next Friday night, and Gabe Arnold, who's going to get killed by Carter Scarachi, was shooting his mouth off this week. Good luck to you boys in Iowa. You're about to get atom smashed by Penn State on Friday night. But if you're even a pro wrestling fan, you haven't watched it, this is going to be an incredible night to watch some amateur wrestling. So make sure you check it out. And Gable Stevenson's back in Minnesota too. Believe it or not, he had a year of eligibility left, so he's going to try and win another national title. But he'll have another Penn State guy, Greg Verklet, standing in his way. So that's going to be fun. But check it out, Penn State, Iowa on Friday night. Thanks for being with us, Stu Myrick at Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. You can follow him at Stu Myrick, STEWMYRCK, and Matt Black at Raw F Showtime. Guys, thank you. I appreciate it. We'll see you next week on The Mark Hoke Show. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Selling your